Hey everybody, me Maldonado here. Just wanted to explain today about how an air conditioner works, because for some reason or another I run into people all the time that just have no clue. All they know is, well, we hook up this wire to that wire, and that's pretty much it. And, line 1, line 2, line 3, and ground, and we're done, we're out of here. I've even run into air conditioning installers that have been like, well, we don't really know how these things work, we just know that we're supposed to do this, and then they work. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you exactly how an air conditioner works. And this is... my dog over here is just like completely like, oh yeah, he's driving me crazy. Anyways, so the compressor in the air conditioner takes a gas and it compresses it. And whenever you compress a gas, it gets really hot, because in its expanded state, it has all of this heat attached to it. I guess if you can say it that way. Gases that are hot, they vibrate a lot, and they have a lot of, they take up a lot more space. So when they're compressed down into a smaller space, all that heat, it collects and it combines into one place, and it gets really hot. That's kind of how a diesel engine works. The piston actually has a higher compression ratio, so when the piston hits the top dead center, the air inside it's so hot that it explodes the gas that gets injected into it. And anyways, just compressing air, it makes a gas really hot. An air, a refrigerant, any kind of gas, if you compress it enough really quickly, it gets really hot. Because it's actually trying to expel all of the heat that off from it than it can. Anyways, that compressed gas goes through a coil that has a fan that blows across it, and that fan blows off all the heat out into the air, and eventually you end up with a cooled down compressed gas, and then you release it. And when you release it through that small orifice, it gets really cold. So then that goes through your indoor coil, and the air inside your house gets circulated across that indoor coil. So the hot air comes in, and the across the radiator that's got the compressed cooled gas, it's going through it. It's getting really cold now because it's expanding, and it's sucking up heat. So it's sucking up all the heat in your house, and then it's being recompressed into the compressor and blown off like a heat sponge. So the gas, the refrigerant gas, is basically being squozen and let go, and squozen and let go, and squozen and let go, and it's actually sucking the heat out of your house, and it's taking it away. So that's basically how an air conditioner works. Now, when the refrigerant, when the evaporative coil gets cold, it has a tendency to create moisture, and that moisture drops down. It's condensation from the air. It's the humidity that's in the air. When it gets so cold, it actually, like, it condenses into water, and it drips down into a pan, and that goes through a little drain pipe that they have, and that's what kind of drips outside your house. That's what that little pipe is that sticks out your house and just drips every now and again. That's from your air conditioner. It's from the humidity in your house. But that's how an air conditioner works, basically. I mean, you know, you compress a gas, and then you get rid of the heat, and then you expand that gas, and it sucks up heat. And it comes back around and gets compressed again, and it blows off the heat, and it gets released again and sucks up the heat. It's basically heat sponge. And that's how an air conditioner works. It's actually pretty simple. But anyways, I thought I'd give you this little explanation, because most people don't really understand how these things work, and if that makes a lot of sense to you, then you know what, hopefully I helped. Also, the most common thing for an air conditioner to have a problem is the capacitors. Most of the time in the heat of the summer, the capacitors will go out, and then that stops the motor from turning. A good way to figure out whether or not it's the capacitor or not is to take a screwdriver or something and turn the fan blade of the motor, the fan motor, to see if it will turn on. And if you can turn on the fan motor with flipping it with a screwdriver blade, then it's definitely the capacitor, because the capacitor is not giving it enough power to actually start up in the first place. And you turning it with the screwdriver is actually what does what the capacitor is supposed to do. So if you replace the capacitor, it'll actually start working again. It's usually like a $10 part, something like that. It's really cheap. It's really easy to replace. You just want to make sure that before you take and replace it, you short it out with a screwdriver to make sure that it doesn't have any charge left in it. And then replace it out, and you'll be good. That's the most common problem. Other than that, I've seen contactors go out, and then at worst case scenario, then you've got a leak in your coolant system, and then that's pretty much the end of your air conditioner. But anyways, that's my little explanation on how air conditioners work. And this is B. Maldonado here, signing off. Later.